Welcome to your typical shonen protagonist. He's Kai, I'm Kells, and this is a show where we explore and duel, my god, our way through different anime series, and this episode continues our look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Kingdom. And now we get on to the meat of season 1.
Yeah, because that was just the first episode, like I said.
Yeah, we spent like 10 minutes talking about episode 1.
Yes.
And from here, it gets better or worse?
It gets wild, is what it gets. Like,
yes.
Moving forward, the next thing you see is season 2. Big surprise, Yugi's grandfather is back in the hospital.
You said episode 2?
Episode 2, yeah, my bad. Sorry, it's so like I said.
No, episode 2 is Joey gets trained how to be a duelist by Grandpa.
He ends up back in the hospital by the end of that episode, though, right? Or is that episode 3?
You got me messed up, man. I don't know. So what happens with episode 2 is, they're watching more duelists, and you meet Rex Raptor, and you watch Weevil Underwood, beat him up. These are 2 new, weird themed characters. And Yugi gets a package from
Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the one. So that's the company that makes Duel Monsters that's run by Pegasus. He gets a package, and the package has a glove, star chips, and a VHS tape. And Yugi is like, let's watch this random VHS tape that I didn't know I was going to get. He puts it in the VCR. Boom, Shadow Game. Pegasus on the screen. We're now in this new Shadow Realm, and the VCR tape tells me how much time I have to win the duel or lose something. Of course, he loses because we need the story to go on, and Grandpa's soul gets sucked into the television because why not? And now you have the setup for the, what is it, Duelist Island?
Duelist Kingdom.
Yes, Duelist Kingdom.
Which is an island with a sand location that you never see, by the way.
You said sand location?
Yeah, because like when you get to the island, you see the different terrains and elements, and they show off a sand one, but like they never do anything on the sand, so I'm confused.
Well, I mean, we've got this one fight coming up shortly that makes use of the water, but
yeah.
So of course, to save Grandpa, they've got to go on this adventure they're being goaded into, which is get on this boat and come to Duelist Island, to the Duelist Kingdom, fight in the tournament, and fight Pegasus to get Grandpa back. So, of course, they go.
And then as they go, Taya and Tristan sneak on the boat, which is very important because they are not duelists.
Exactly. Joey has, Yugi gives Joey his, invitation card, because he gets 2 of them. He's like, here's an invitation card, and here's some star chips. You're in. Don't mess it up. Taya and Tristan don't have anything like that. They're just whole sneaking on the boat.
This is great.
Why? What are they going to do? Tell us no? We have to go. We're the cheerleading squad. Which is a big part of winning these duels, actually.
Yeah, because it's the power of friendship, which is like, let's draw a circle in case we forget that we're right next to each other.
Yeah, man, all I got to do is look up my hand. It doesn't make sense without my other friends, which it still doesn't make sense.
It's so bad. It's got a lot of 4 kids, though.
Yeah, man. So everybody gets on the boat, and now we're meeting these other duelists. Suddenly we meet, Yugi and team meet Weevil, the regional champion, blah. They meet Weevil, and Weevil's, underhanded and trying to, beat the game before they get to the island. So he's like, hey, can I see the thing that beat the undefeated champion? Can I see Exodia? And Yugi, being an idiot, it's like, sure, here's Exodia, the forbidden one.
Yes, what you just showed everybody because, not that forbidden, I guess.
So what happens?
What happens is Weevil, being the biggest prick on the feet of the planet, takes it, rips it up, and throws it into the ocean. But then you got bro Joey, who's from Brooklyn, who jumps off the cruise ship into the water.
Never swam a day in his life. Just square jumps off the boat to take care of Yugi's Exodia.
But no hesitation, though. Mad respect.
No, square. Just like, oh, I got to go get those cards. I don't care if the boat, below the boat is 40 feet down. Whatever.
Yeah, you got to do it for the gram, bro.
Yeah, man. So, Exodia's gone. The rest of the tournament has to be done without the thing that clinched the biggest victory.
Yeah, and it's sad. I'm not gonna lie, it's very sad. And I personally loved Exodia, but the cool thing about Exodia leaving is you see why Yugi is aforementioned the king of games. And you find so many inventive ways to win, or inventive ways to cheat, I should say.
We'll give it to him. The show doesn't say he's cheated for real.
Kaiba literally hacks into the game to destroy a monster so he can win. That's what Kaiba does for Yugi.
Man, what monster was that?
That was the blue eyes.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that. That square does happen with Ghost Kaiba. So everybody gets to the island, right? It's now to actually do this tournament. What's the first match of the tournament for real? Weevil versus Yugi.
Yes, and it's some real... Is that where we get the theme song? Rock song that starts playing?
No. The only real song I remember comes from which we're getting ahead of ourselves, from the Yugi and Joey fight at the end of the show.
Because there is another rock song that plays, and I'm going to try to remember what that is and come back to it. But the first duel, like you said, is between Yugi and Weevil. And Weevil just cheating, being underhanded. Well, trying to cheat. I guess that wasn't really cheating by luring Yugi.
So this is where they introduce the field advantages, which plays into the rest of the island. There's all manner of terrain on the island that benefits or negatively impacts different kind of monsters. It's all BS, but it works for this show. So they get off the boat. Yugi's like, Weevil, come back here, and Weevil runs away until they get to a clearing, and then this clearing has the dual field that's set up specifically for bug monsters.
Yeah.
To which that doesn't matter because Yugi just wins. I forget how he wins. It's all probably something dumb.
It is. He wins by he wins by his summoned skull. Wait. Yeah, he wins by getting the monster away. His summoned skull uses lightning.
Right.
I believe.
Right.
To the giant moth. I believe that's how that ends. I'm pretty sure. 100%. Actually.
Yeah, I could see that. To which, okay, that makes sense. But Yugi wins. And then it's Joey's turn. Intro, My Valentine, who's trying to sucker Joey into taking the big L for his 2 star chips. So that he's out of the tournament too.
For his 1 star chip at that point. He got his second one from Mai.
Right. Because yeah.
And the whole Joey and Mai dynamic, it's just the whole thing. Because Joey, she sees Joey as a chump, but Joey's like, you gotta have values. What do you duel for, Mai? I duel for my sister's blindness that is also killing her, apparently. And I'm just like, okay. And Mai's like, I duel for things and possessions, and I'm basically a harlot. because this is the way I live my life.
Bless that harlot. But yeah, I mean, Mai's out for Mai, right? And all of it's a front. We'll find that out later. But no, totally. Like, Mai sees Joey as this square chump, and your friends are dumb, and believing in your friends to believe in you is dumb, and I'm going to teach you a lesson all on my own.
Because you're dumb. But Mai is also out here using the power of cheating, because that's what all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. It's just figuring out who can cheat the best.
Man, so the one thing with Mai, every time we see her duel, she pulls the same card run. Like, there's no difference. It's always Harpy's Lady plus, like, the power up to Harpy's Lady, the armor. And then it's Harpy's Pet Dragon. And then the multiply Harpy's Ladies. And it's the same play, but literally every time. Mm-hmm. However, this time, she's playing the I'm a Psychic. And I can just know what cards get drawn.
Yes, because she sprays a different perfume on it, which is kind of an ingenious way of cheating. And then Joey wins by his power, which is as full luck, because he closes his eyes and smells the perfume.
Yep. No, Joey always wins or loses by Baby Dragon.
Well, I mean...
Does the Time Wizard play well for him, or does the Time Wizard lose the match for him?
It's basically Time Wizard is the crutch of his attack, because he did like beat Raptor without it, and then that's but again we're getting ahead of ourselves. But so basically Joey ends up winning the fight by like Yugi's assistance and help from the sidelines, which is actually important because we'll come back to that later. So he beats Mai. And then Mai is like upset with herself, but then somehow also develops the hots for Joey while being conflicted for that.
So the big I'm a big fan of Joey's story arc through the first season. Like, it's some punk trying to learn how to play this game, and all for a specific cause. And through the show, he gets better up until like the finals.
Yeah.
You know? To which he goes up against Yugi, where there's no beating Yugi unless you whole ass steal his grandpa. Mid-match, right? If you put a timer on the match on a VCR, you can beat Yugi. But yeah, so he beats Mai, and Mai's like, "What is this mess? Like, what?" And then, scoffing at the respect that she actually has for him. So Joey beats Mai, and then we move on to
is Mako next?
Let me see. Yes, Mako is next.
Yes, and the Mako fight is like my favorite, to be honest.
Everybody's got a backstory, man.
Like, his just starts out of nowhere, which makes it my favorite. Like, so Mako Tsunami, which is cool, still one of the dopest names in all of anime, is a fisherman, like, water type duelist. So Joey and Tristan spellfish on the ledge. They run over, start eating the fish. Taya and Yugi join them, and while they're joining them, like, Mako pops out of the ocean like Poseidon. And he's like, "Oh, who are you?" And then he's like, "You can't take my fish." And it's like, "Oh, I'm Yugi Moto. You're Yugi. You defeated Kaiba. Well, let's be like best friends and such." So
you can now have my fish. Take my fish. It's cool.
Yeah, so Home Dudes gets the fish, and so like they're eating the fish and everything, and then you got my guy Mako who's like, "Ha ha ha, this was all according to plan." And then he comes out here.
You walked right into my trap.
Yes, which was all of like him luring them there so he could duel like anybody really, but duel Yugi. Yeah. So he's like started dueling Yugi, and they get a split battlefield, which is actually really cool. Half of it was ocean, half of it was land. All the Mako's monsters are water monsters, and Yugi's really just trying to get a hold of what's going on because all of Mako's monsters appear underwater.
Which means they're invisible for some reason.
Yes. So how Yugi handles this is by summoning monsters and watching them all die. and and then he pulls and then like Mako pulls out some pretty strong monsters, and then Mako's like, the sea is forgiving. It'll never, like, it'll always hurt you. And
then we get his backstory.
No, and then what it gets me is Yugi knows exactly what happened to Mako with no context. He's like, you don't mean that your father was killed in the ocean. And I'm like, what? Like,
Yes, he was taken from me. He didn't have enough time to tie me and him to the mast. So I'm going to buy a boat and I'm going to find him somewhere. Because this hasn't been 15 years between my dad dying and me being here.
yeah, and it was like a really cool story because I feel like later in Yu-Gi-Oh! The series, Mako actually finds his dad. I can't remember.
Does he?
Don't hold me to that. Like I said,
Yeah, don't get my hopes up now.
Yeah, but I think so. We're gonna rewatch it all, so we shall see. So that's going on, and then like Yugi's basically losing because none of his monsters can fight the sea. And Mako has a superpowered jellyfish that can absorb lightning attacks, which Yugi was going to use. So Yugi summons a wolf, and then uses a moon trap card, and then the wolf dies, and then Yugi summons... Most of the field gets wiped away, so there's like literally just a spot. And Yugi's like, well, time to summon the stone warrior, like giant stone guardian or something.
Yeah.
And then Yugi's like, by the way, my name is Piccolo. And like destroys the moon. And...
the seas reside. Like, so the big thing with this whole match is Mako's been encroaching on his land. So Yugi's been losing like spaces to play because that's how the game works, apparently. So he finally plays the Stone Soldier, and then he blows up the moon, and then the seas reside, and the Mako's monsters are now revealed. Okay. So, of course, Yugi wins. By BS, it's okay.
Yeah.
So from here, we get our boy Mokuba, right? So
Yes.
Mokuba's in a beanie and a bandana, playing more hood than he can actually afford to be, trying to beat up Yugi to save Kaiba, because this whole Kaiba side story where Pegasus is trying to take over Kaiba Corp, and the Kaiba Corp sort of board of directors is all on board. Everyone's evil. So they say, all right, well, we've got to kill Kaiba. We've got to kill Seto Kaiba. And we need at least one Kaiba family member to be able to make this transfer happen. So they're hunting down Seto Kaiba throughout this entire season. And this is where we sort of get into the Kaiba is a super smart hacker, James Bond, spy person.
Yeah, it's like he's extremely intelligent as well. So he's like well-rounded. He's not like a nerd. He's like a well-rounded, like, type of douchebag,
nerd.
Yeah, douchebag nerd. And
so during the Mokuba fight, I believe this is where we get that sort of the henchmen break into Kaiba's room with the finger guns just pointing at him. And Kaiba steals like he puts all of his files in a bag and then jumps out the frickin' window into the sea. And it's like, okay, well, Kaiba's just probably dead. So Mokuba is trying to figure out, hey, I got to save my brother. All of this stuff is happening. I've escaped from Pegasus because he had me. And I need to defeat you to save him. I need to defeat you, Yugi, to save him. So there's this sort of fight, to which it's interrupted.
Yeah, interrupted by, not Chemo. Yeah, Chemo interrupts it.
Yeah.
No, Chemo doesn't
No,
interrupt it.
no, I think Mokuba's like, hey, we're Yugi's like, hey, I get it. Let me help you. I will make this happen. You know. Enter Ghost Kaiba.
Yes, I love Ghost Kaiba. It is. Ghost Kaiba is like, hey guys, I'm Seto. And he talks with the echo, which is like really, the reverb echo is really kind of nice. I gotta say, I don't hate it. It's a fun time.
That's how you know he's evil, right?
Yeah, like his reverb echo is about that life. And he's like, hey, you don't have a ghost of a chance. And he makes horrible puns. Like, it's really great. Like, Ghost Kaiba is the best character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just need everybody to
pretty
understand
up
that.
there. But of course, Ghost Kaiba has Kaiba's deck.
Yes, because, you know, the finger gun people went and stole it.
Bingo. And now it's Yugi versus Ghost Kaiba. And Yugi's like, this can't be Kaiba. There's no way. He's not here. And of course, Ghost Kaiba's like, yes, I'm Ghost Kaiba. Look at all my Kaiba cards. I can't possibly be anyone other than Kaiba. So Ghost Kaiba winds up with this like big play with blue eyes, white dragons everywhere, and Yugi's down. Enter regular Kaiba as Hacker Master General.
Yes, who's just here and ready to be the best dang Kaiba he can be. Like,
so he sneaks into his own super secret backup like lair, and then he's trying to break into Pegasus like Duelist Kingdom internet server or whatever to get to the specific location Ghost Kaiba and Yugi are dueling to be able to help.
yeah, and he like starts hacking the system, like, which is wild because Ghost Kaiba's out here making the same move, like stopping Kaiba or stopping Yugi, because Yugi can't beat Ghost Kaiba since he doesn't have Exodia anymore. That's what everybody believes. That's even what Yugi or Kaiba believes until, you know, his computer, whose name we don't know, tells him otherwise. So Kaiba, real Kaiba, starts hacking and is like, yo, they didn't tell you that I was a savage, and like starts hacking and basically deteriorates Ghost Kaiba's blue eyes that he's using against Yugi. And everybody's like, what's going on? What's happening? And then like Kaiba starts shouting for Yugi to win, and Yugi uses his magical powers to hear him.
And then Yugi's like, you're not Kaiba, and Ghost Kaiba's like, you're right, I'm Ghost Kaiba. And he tears off his skinny Kaiba skin to show this weird, amorphous, gross person.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. Like, and he's like, I'm the Kaiba that you sent to the Shadow Realm, but, you know, Home Dude bought me back. And I'm like, oh, okay.
To which Yugi wins. Ghost Kaiba's banished again. And Mokuba is kidnapped again.
Yeah, and it's just... And then they kind of just are like, yeah, whatever, it happens. And then they meet up with Mai again.
Yep. So they meet up with Mai, and Mai's like, hey, here's some food. I don't want y'all to out here and straight die on me. I need to beat you. So she's being more friendly. She goes off in the middle of the woods at night, and winds up getting kidnapped and forced into a duel with an unknown duelist. No, actually, we haven't quite. Whoa. We haven't quite made it to that point, actually. We got Joey Wheeler and Rex.
Cool, yeah.
So May hasn't kidnapped yet. May has suckered Rex into fighting Joey for her.
You're right. Might be.
And this is where the whole, oh, you've got to fight me on your own, Joey, without the help of your friends, or you forfeit.
Yeah, which is some, like, straight, like... and that's what I was talking about earlier with the throwback to Yugi always helping Joey, or having to help Joey to win that fight.
Yep. And then Tristan is all mad because he doesn't believe in Joey, but he cares, you know? So there's a whole storyline with that in that episode. Joey wins, of course, because he's actually a pretty okay duelist when fate is on his side.
Yeah.
And
cards.
The big part is he gets Rex Raptor's Red Eyes Black Dragon out of this match.
True, which is like the whole, which is, it's funny because it's like the super rare card that no one knows existed, and like Joey just luckily gets it. Like he is a luck based, if I don't know what, so he gets Red Eyes,
which adds to his play, right? His whole play has been, all right, draw Time Wizard, draw Baby Dragon, hope it goes well, get 1,000-year Dragon, and then win. That hangs up every now and again because Time Wizard is a luck based.
Yeah, so
this gives him a play that's, consistent outside of that.
Yeah, so he has an actual strategy now. So he gets Red Eyes, and then Weevil, not Weevil, Rex is like, dang it, but he still had Star Chips. It's like, we haven't seen anyone get eliminated since that kid that Mokuba stole his chips. So.
Yes.
And then they go to celebrate by walking around the forest or something, I don't know. And then nighttime happens, and then we meet Mai again.
So, yes. So this is in the woods, right? And what happens here is, all right, we're camping. It's nighttime. We're just hanging out. Bakura shows up. And everyone's like, where the have you been, Bakura?
Yeah. And Bakura's like, I've been living my best life, and he's just like, I've just been here like you guys have been. Like, it's basically what he tells everybody.
I'm not enrolled in this tournament. I'm just here.
Yeah, and it's like, it's really just weird because they just don't question it. They're like,
no.
Yeah, you're right.
And Bakura's like, want a duel? And they're like, okay, sure. It's a duel without consequences. Finally a chance to take a break. To which everything's got consequences. Don't ever duel. It's not safe.
Yeah,
So it's a shadow realm. It's a shadow duel where Bakura, because Bakura's got the Millennium Ring, and the Millennium Ring is evil, so this is Yami Bakura, the spirit of the ring. So Yami Bakura is like, hey, I'm going to steal all of your friends and put them into the cards that are their favorites, and you're going to have to duel for them. And if they lose, then they're just banished to the shadow realm.
And the funny part is, this is when they also figure out that Yugi is two separate people, because Yugi inhabits the Dark Magician as his favorite card, and then
there's still the spirit of the puzzle that exists to run the game.
Yeah, and they're like, who is this? Like, what is going on? And they're like, who's that big guy? And Yugi's like, I don't know, but I trust him. And everybody else is like, bet, we trust him too. Right? So
good enough for me.
Yeah, basically. So, and then they start dueling, and this is where the real 4Kids comes back into play. Like we didn't say earlier, the Shadow Realm. It's the Shadow Realm in 4Kids. In the Japanese, it's death. So they're playing a game of life or death right now. And if these characters die or gets into the quote graveyard, they're gone forever.
Yeah,
so,
which we do see some of that, right?
Yeah.
So Joey sacrifices himself, and he gets sent to the graveyard, where he has to run away from the Reaper of Cards.
Yeah, and it's
which is pretty dope.
Yeah, and then this whole thing that happens next is kind of dope, because we kind of see why Kay is all like friendship, equality, and blah blah blah. Because her favorite monster is Magician of Hope, or is that the name of it? Or
oh, hell's blazes! You got me looking this up on the fly.
Maybe it's Magician of something. We'll just call it the Magician of Hope. I'm gonna be confident about it.
Keep filling time. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, so she summons a Musician of Hope, who's like power Musician of Faith. That's what it is. So
Yeah, I'm betting you're right.
she summons she inhabits her favorite card, which is a Musician of Faith, and then she starts like crying, which is the special ability of that monster, and the tier lets it
Lady
bring
of Faith.
Lady of Faith. My bad.
Like it matters.
So lets her bring back one card, and then Yugi's like, we already bringing back Monster Reborn because like Joey's coming back, and he does that, and Joey comes back, and like it's just a scene because it's like Yugi has alternate confidence that like, hey, my boy is good. He's coming back. And it's kind of a wholesome scene, and I enjoyed it. Meanwhile, Bakura is like, F these kids. Because, like, he's just kind of done. And so he summons, like, other Bakura, or the real Bakura. That's not the spirit of the Millennium Necklace.
So, I'm still looking at this, but we're finished with the duel, right?
Yeah, or I'm just saying that. So Bakura summons.
So on the card, you were right. It's Magician of Faith. So Bakura summons.
Yeah, Bakura summons. Bakura summons Change of Heart, which is like inhabited by the good, pure Bakura, who's not the evil one trying to duel these people. So good Bakura is like, nah, screw this. Like, I'm squad till I die. So he actually changes and betrays the bad, evil Bakura. And they use Change of Faith to, and then Yugi's like, oh, I have magical powers too. Yami, the one who is doing the dueling, is like, I have magical powers as well. And then, I'm going to use my Millennium Puzzle to switch back your souls. So, Evil Bakura is the card, and Yugi destroys him with his Dark Magician attack.
Yeah, and then he winds up in the graveyard, and we're like, all right, well, Yami Bakura's gone. All of the evil's destroyed. The day is saved.
Yeah.
Hold on. That would be episode 13. And then I'd say a good 10 episodes of it lasting.
Yeah.
So yeah, this random one-off fight that didn't have anything to do with the tournament, but meant people's souls, was just played.
Yeah.
Enter May Valentine.
And May Valentine has been kidnapped, and
so she wanders off, sort of, to go do whatever she's going to do in the middle of the woods. And suddenly, Squad hears a scream. And they run off to find out what's going on. May has just been forced into a fight by, what are they called?
By an enforcer or
an eliminator?
Yes. I think it's an eliminator. Something cringy like that.
Yeah, there's a specific word for it. I can find it momentarily. Yep, eliminator. Pegasus hires certain duelists to just go around and win and take people's star chips. So, of course, he's got this double road gauntlet for 20 star chips instead of just 10.
Yeah, it's broken.
And he forces people into dueling him, and then he beats them with fear. Hence the name Panic, because they're scared of him. Mai just got beat. She still has star chips, but it's like a crazy, emotional, rough loss.
Yeah.
So what do you have to do? You're Yugi. What do you do?
You're Yugi. You're like, I gotta stand up for the homie, even though she's not the homie, and she was really bad and rude, but she fed us, so respect. So Yugi goes all out to. He's like, there's only one way to deal with bullies, Joey. Not beat them up like you were gonna do, but beat them up with magic cards.
Send them to the Shadow Realm.
So Yugi goes all out to fight Panic, and there's this whole kind of beauty to the fight, where it's Yugi is, or Yami, the spirit, is overcoming fear and panic, and everybody's worried about him, and then like Panic starts shooting fire and whatnot, and he's just like, "Yo, it is what it is." Like,
Yeah, Yami is square not scared of Panic, which is pretty dope. You know, no matter about the darkness of not being able to see the cards or the physical danger that Panic literally puts him in.
yeah,
I think, is this the first place we see Swords of Revealing Light?
this is, yes. This is the first time we see the Swords of Revealing Life too. That, like, automatic. It's funny because the Swords of Revealing Life is, what's the thing? It's a double-edged sword because it's what's keeping the Castle of Darkness up.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, right? So Swords of Revealing Light stops the opponent from doing anything for 3 turns. You know, their monsters can't do anything; they're stuck.
Yeah.
And Yugi destroys like the flotation ring on the fortress that's stopping everything from being damaged. So as soon as Swords of Revealing Light dispels at the end of the 3 turns, the fortress drops on Panic's monsters, and then he loses.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of like he did it to himself, which is sad, funny,
Really?
but true.
Yeah, like that's the best way to do it, you know? Make it his fault for losing.
Yeah. Which, is kind of reflective to show that, hey, well, it's over. It's done. We won. Like, saved Mai. She's got her star chips. We all good. Or are we?
That's a good question. So that's where we have to end it for this episode. Don't forget to check out this show on Spotify and the video upload on YouTube. Also, follow us on Twitter at YTSP. That's URTSP, as we live tweet our research, share memes, and interact with the community of wonderful weebs. When we come back, we're really kicking off with a surprisingly important duel. So our boy Kaiba isn't dead, and he's no longer stuck in his super fortress of hackerdom. Kaiba's made it to the Duelist Kingdom island, and we're going to find out what is his first duel on the island.
Yes, it is going to be a fun one. So stay tuned to see all that and the other annex on the next episode of
your typical shonen protagonist.
He stole my line, but yeah, your typical shonen protagonist.